Hey there, welcome back. Today we're going to work on, we've gotten down the major scale, the natural minor scale, basic triads, major minor triads, and then some of your basic extended chords, your C7 dominant 7, the C major 7th, the 9, the add 9, the sus2, the sus4. I just briefly explained how those chords are built in the last video. So now we're going to take some of that theory and we're going to actually get into chord progressions. A lot of people ask me, well, how do I know what chord to play? When I'm writing a song, if I want to play, in the key of G, I don't know what chords to use. What's major, what's minor. I just, a lot of guitarists trying to play stuff and they don't know what they're playing. They don't know what to use. They go through a lot of struggling trying to figure out what chords can I put together to sound good. All right, and this is going to kind of help answer that question. And of course, in music, there's always the exception to the rule. There's rules, and then there's rules that break the rules, and the biggest thing is what sounds good. But this is going to give it kind of a road map, a general direction of, okay, I can put these together and it'll work. Of course, like I said, there's always exceptions, but let's get started here. We're going to, as usual, just kind of stay in the key of C. It's a good, easy key. There's no sharps or flats to confuse you. But let's write out our C major scale. All right, we're going to do C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then your octave would be a C again. Okay? So there's your 7 notes. And I'm going to number them again as usual. Normally I would Roman numeral them, but excuse me, when we build chords we'll get there. But alright, so there's your 7 notes of C major scale. Let's get that glare off there. Alright, so we want to build chords. Full chord progression, all the chords that are going to be in here. All right, here's the easiest way to determine this. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. Your first chord is going to be the C, and you're going to have a C. All right, let me see if you can see that a little better. All right, first chord in the key of C major. If you're going to play chords, you're going to have a C chord because that's your root. How do you build a C? Last video we talked about C, E, and G. That would be your first chord. And it's a major chord because your third is a major third. Okay? So, this would be a C major. This is your 1 chord in that progression. Okay? And we're going to use Roman numerals now. But a C chord, if you know how to play it, C, E, and G, is a C major chord. So the first chord in a C major chord progression is C major. Second one is going to be D, obviously. All these, as we go, positions are going to, the root of each chord is going to be that first one. So the next chord you would play in that progression is a D. Now, is it going to be a major? Let me move that up there. Is it going to be a major, a minor? That's what we're going to figure out right now. Okay? So, we would have to go, you'd have to lay out the the D scale. And if you were to go through the D scale, write it out, a D major would be an F sharp for a third. 1, 2, 3. This is only an F, so it's actually a minor. You have a minor third. It takes a while to get this concept in your head. You have to write out each one, C, D, E, F, G, all their scales, and then you'll be able to see, okay, I wrote the D out, and that's an F sharp. So it would be a D major, but we only have an F to work with. We can only work with these notes. So that's going to tell you, oh, that is going to be a D minor. So your second note is a D minor. Okay? E. The third chord is going to be an E. Well, once again, if you were to write out the E major scale or the E minor, E, F, G sharp is normally for an E major. The G sharp is the third of an E major. So, once again, we know this is a minor third, so this is an E minor chord. Usually dictated by 3. Roman numeral 3, lowercase for minors, uppercase for majors. Alright, so our next chord in the C major scale would be an F chord. Let's see, is this major or minor? We go F, G, A. And if you were to write out the F major scale, that A is a major third. So this is a major chord, so it's the 4th chord in the C major scale. G, G, A, B. We know from earlier the B is a major third in the key of G scale. So this is your major fifth. Now, the sixth note was A. And let's see, A, B, C. And if you were to write the A major scale out, C sharp is the major third of an A chord. So we only have a C. We don't have a C sharp. You can only use these notes in here, because that's all you had to work with. You're working in this key. These are the notes to use. A now becomes an A minor. That's the minor sixth chord. And then last but not least, the D. This one's a little trickier. We haven't talked about this yet, but the B. Not awake yet. Put your B chord down. It's going to be major. It's going to be minor. No, it's actually a minor chord, because if you were to go through and look at it, B, C, D, D sharp is actually a major third. So D is actually going to be a minor third. So this is going to be a minor, but it actually, if you look at the fifth, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you were to write out the B major scale, it should have a D sharp for a major third and an F sharp for the fifth. It doesn't have a sharp, it's flattened, so it's going to be a minor, but it also has a flattened fifth. And when you flatten a fifth, this becomes a diminished chord. Any chord, as we know, is a 1, 3, 5. Third determines major, minor. But when you flatten a fifth, that is when it becomes what's called diminished. You've probably heard that before and had no idea. That's a flattened fifth. So it actually becomes, got a little circle on the end there, and that's a B diminished chord. So, and that's your seventh. It's basically a minor with a flattened fifth. So in the key of C, chords, you're going to have C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and B diminished. Okay? So it's a lot to wrap your head around at first, and like I said, to determine this, you pretty much have to write out each scale to determine, like I said, C, D, for D, D, E, F. If you were to write out the D major scale, you would see that F sharp is actually the third to make it a major. F would be a minor, so it is a minor. But if you don't understand it, go back to the first and second video to determine how to build a major and a minor scale off of each note. And so you put all that together. Those are the chords in the key of C major. So if we're going to play a chord progression in C major, these are the chords we use. Okay? Like I said, there are exceptions. A lot of times you can take a fourth and actually make it a minor, and it works good as a transition. Beatles use that a lot. You play a C, go to an F, minor, and then back to the G, and then back to a C. And it has a nice Beatles sound, you'll see, but don't even worry about that today. So, and how we determine, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like they are up here, but they're Roman numerals, they're capital, they're major, they're minor, use lowercase Roman numerals, and that determines chords. So now when you see tablature chord progressions and you see like A minor, B diminished, D diminished, depending on, obviously what key you're in, that's what that means. Like I said, remember, diminished is a minor chord, but it's also got a flattened fifth. Alright, so that's how you build chords, the chord progressions. And what I'd like to get into real quick, because I have a couple minutes left on this video, I'd like to take this and let's talk about a chord progressions, and we'll get into the guitar part of it, probably said in the next video. But let's say now that we know how to build a scale, major and minor, we know how to build chords, we know how to actually build chord progressions now, and know what chords work in what key. Let's go with the key of C. You got C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and B diminished. Okay? I'd like to give you a couple quick shortcuts if you can remember them. Your 1, your 4, and your 5 are always major, okay? If you're in a major scale, if you're doing a major key, C major key, 1, 4, 5, always major. 2, 3, and 6, 2, 3, and 6, always minor, okay? So 1, 4, 5, major, 2, 3, 6, minor. And then 7th, diminished, okay? you can get into minor 7 flat 5s later and stuff, which is like a diminished chord, and then you add your dominant 7 to it, and it's called a minor 7 flat 5. It sounds a little prettier than just the diminished chord, but I have an actual video on here. If you scroll down through my videos on the YouTube page, you'll see there's a video on minor 7 flat 5s. Nice jazzy kind of sound, very sad kind of tonal sound to it. All right, so keys, remember, 1, 4, 5 are your major chords in a progression. Your 2, your 3, your 6 positions are minors, and your 7th is a diminished. All right, so if you can remember that, it'll make it a lot easier. And then you know, eventually, as you start building these and practicing, you'll start memorizing them. I understand the key of G. I know my G, C, and D are majors. My B minor and A minor and E minor are minor chords. Obviously, they're minors. And my F sharp is my diminished chord. Okay, that's the 7. And you will over time. It takes time. It's not something you're going to pick up in a day. You know, keep reviewing and keep watching these. Write them out. That's the easiest way to learn. Is just constantly write them out, and you'll start to pick up on it. Okay. So, like I said, as usual, any questions right below, just click on the link there and ask questions. I'll answer them. If I made a mistake or you saw something I missed once in a while, I'm talking fast, not paying attention, haven't had enough coffee, and I'll miss something or call something a different name than I should have. But there you go. That is how you build a chord progression. So now you know if you're going to write a song in the key of C, you'll know that you don't want to play E major. I mean, you can. There's songs that have that, but there's exceptions to the rules as usual. But for a building block, if you're a beginner songwriter, okay, I could take C, F, and G, and those are my major chords, and it's going to sound happy and poppy. If you want to throw in the A minor, the D minor, the E minor, give a little more sad sound to it, you can. And those are the chords that you can use, and they're going to work together in a sense. Okay? So good luck. Have fun with that, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.